Welcome, everyone, to an episode of Inventor Spotlight. My name is Dana Knowles. I'm the Director of Inventor Relations at inventRight, past inventRight member, student. And I have with me today Maria Rubio, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. And Maria Rubio is the successful inventor of the casserole caddy. And she went through our membership, got the coaching, and did license her casserole caddy. And it's been on the market for how long now?
5 years almost.
5 years. Yeah. Kind of the same time I licensed my shower caddy. So this isn't the caddy show, but it's just ironic. So, but what we're going to talk about in these episodes is we're going to talk about a little bit about what it was like prior to InventRight. What happened that you decided to become an InventRight member? And then how do you feel about the licensing at this, licensing, what your thought process was before coming into InventRight and then after. But my first question is, we want to know a little bit more about you. What do you do? What's your lifestyle like? How busy are you? How long have you been inventing? Give us a little bit of a background.
Okay. So when I first started my journey to be a product developer, inventor, I was a mom with 2 children that were about to get married. I had a very busy lifestyle at that point, and I still have that full-time job working in a big corporation as an executive assistant for high-level executives. So I was very, very busy, but I had this bug, this passion to put a product out on the market, and I started looking at licensing ideas.
It's kind of a blessing and a curse, right? At the same time, like you.
At the same, exactly, Dana.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I always say it's a blessing and a curse. So we're going to talk about pre-InventRight. This is what we're going to focus on for the first couple minutes here. We had mentioned earlier, we've known each other for quite a while. When you're in InventRight, we become friends, but you had told me about a product idea, and I have my notes here, that you tried to take to the market. I think it was your first or second idea was something for a milk drink.
Yes.
Can you talk about that journey? And we really want to know what you did wrong.
Okay. So the way I got started with that was I entered a contest, a Staples contest, and my idea won top 10 out of 1,000 entries. But ironically, it got beat by another InventRight student at that time, who invented the word lock.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
He won a $25,000 prize and a licensing agreement with Staples.
Okay.
But so that was my motivation to enter.
What did you win?
That was my motivation to enter the contest, and that sparked my bug for coming up with new ideas, because I was validated. I won top 8 out of 1,000 submissions. I was like, okay, I must be good at it. So, at that point, the company that was hosting this hunt kept sending me challenges. We're looking for this, we're looking for that. And at one point, they were looking for a drink that would appeal to male commuters 18 to 25. So in the back of my memory bank, I remembered my mom used to make this drink, and it was a high protein. It was delicious. I said, you know what? Let me try to enter it. Let me see. I mean, the worst case scenario is I won't make it. But again, I won top 8 or 10 out of 1,000 entries. They sent me a basket as a consolation prize, because when they presented my idea to the company that was looking for the beverage, they said that it was a great idea, but it had to be water-based, and my idea was milk-based.
So how I'm gonna just jump in real quick because you submitted your idea to these companies, whether it was Staples or whatever. How far along were you in the process? Because you can't just like submit an idea in words. You have to have something to submit to them. So what were you
It
submitting?
was it was at this point, I just needed to give them some background about the idea, you know, why I felt it was going to be the next big hit as a beverage,
Mhm.
and you know, some marketing ideas. And it was just one sheet. It was pre already. There was a form that you just filled out, and it was enough for them to take the idea to the company that was looking for
So
it.
you didn't have to make what we refer to in our business a sell sheet or anything like that.
It was a variation of a sell sheet because
Mhm.
it kind of explained my idea. I told them the history behind, you know, I had like a whole, it was like, there was like facts behind my idea, because my drink is called Zabalate, which is Italian, is a spin-off and revitalization of the Italian dessert Zabaglione, which has egg in it. So in the Italian culture, egg is an aphrodisiac. So I
Oh,
figured, you know, males 18 to 25, this might be
oh.
something interesting for them with that stigma behind it. And I found a story that in the 14th century, there was a war in Italy, and the soldiers were, you know, they were exhausted, but they stumbled upon a farm and they found these eggs, and they made this milk and or this drink, and they were able to fight and win the battle. So it was a whole, it was an interesting, you know, concept, and
Mhm.
they liked it. They really enjoyed, like the company that was looking for it. It was unique and it was different. So fast forward, I've had, I have a lot of success with it and also a lot of disappointment, but I keep going because there's still a lot of hope and
Right.
a lot of my dedication and my passion to put this
Well,
out on the market.
that's a really important point is getting to a certain point and then getting the rejection, then getting to a certain point and getting another rejection. What made you continue to move forward? Because I know about rejection. My product, the hanging shower caddy, that got licensed about the same time yours did. I got a lot of rejection. So let's talk a little bit about how your mind was when you got so far, and then it's kind of like getting kicked in the stomach. How'd you keep on going?
Um, I kept on going because I believe in my product. I believe in myself. I believe that this product has teeth. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback.
Mhm.
And in my mind, it's just a matter of finding the right person, you
Right.
know, and it's like a marriage. It's a matter of finding the right person.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not the type that gives up. I don't give up. I, you know, there is a one or two that I came up, ideas that I came up with that I kind of shelved for now, because I don't have that much as much passion for that one that I have for this one.
Mhm.
Um, and you know, I still have a lot going on with the beverage idea. I have a lot going on.
I know it's
Um,
always in the back. Like I have these ideas, and it's always in the back. I'm always scared I'm going to find it on the store shelf and say, "Why didn't have that inventor's remorse? Why didn't I do that?" Um,
yeah.
so let's change a little bit up and talk about. Did you know anything about license? I mean, you knew a little bit about licensing because of the
The
uh,
contest.
contest, but how much did you know about licensing prior to prior to finding inventRight?
All I knew about licensing was that it was like you rented your idea like you would rent an apartment. You
Mhm.
know, you the person renting your apartment doesn't own your apartment, they're just renting it. So
Mhm.
if they leave, I can always get another tenant. So in my mind, I'm renting my idea to somebody.
Mhm.
I'm licensing my idea,
Mhm.
and it's my idea. And I feel like if they, at the end of the day, if they want to buy my apartment, then we can negotiate.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I always felt that it was a very nice passive way of making money.
But you didn't know that at first, right? I mean, you learned all of that
I learned
through
all of
the
that
process.
after reading the terms of the licensing agreement that was posted with Staples. You
Oh,
know,
okay. Okay.
it was just like, you would receive royalty, and then I looked up royalty. It was a kind of a process like that. But
Mhm.
that's how I learned about licensing.
Yeah, I say the only thing I knew about licensing was how to spell the word, and barely. I had to Google it. How do you spell licensing? I read Stephen's book, One Simple Idea, quite a few times. Made a lot of mistakes through the process. Learned a lot. Did you ever go to an attorney? Did you ever go to an invention submission company? Did you try to get people to help you get your product to market other than the contests?
Um, before I read One Simple Idea, and before I heard about Stephen, I did go to an attorney for one of the ideas that I shelved,
Hmm.
and he wanted to do a provisional patent. He wanted to do a search,
Hmm.
then a provisional patent, and it does cost money to do that.
Did you pay for
And
it? Did you pay
and
for that?
yeah, I paid him for a search and a
Hmm.
provisional patent.
Hmm.
It really never got anywhere.
Right.
Um, so with that said, I was like, okay, kind of got my feet wet about what's going on in the in the intellectual property um, arena.
Hmm.
And I just kept investigating, and I came across Stephen's book.
Hmm. How,
And
you know,
was the beginning of
and when was
my
that? How long ago was that? Would you say? Would you do
Oh, that's quite a while ago. That's probably about 15 years ago.
okay. And so how long before when you found the book to where you actually became an inventRight student, how long was that of a
Um,
process? Like a years time wise?
yeah, no, it wasn't that much of a long time because I had already a little bit of, gotten my
Hmm.
my thoughts on what it would take to be successful as an inventor. So I think one morning I just woke up and said, you know what? I'm going to look into this licensing program because I need it's like you need a map. Years ago, before you had Google Maps and Waze and all that, you went somewhere, you took out a map, and you're like, okay, and you follow the map, and you got there. So I kind of relate Stephen's approach to finding your destination. So
Mm.
I needed those steps. And what do I do first? What do I do second? What's the right way to approach this? What's the wrong way? And when I looked at his program, I felt that that was the way to go.
So where was your thought process in this making a decision, being out there on your own? Basically, we're out there on our own. I know what it's like to be out there for 20 years on my own, floundering around, floating.
That's about right.
Yeah, yeah, it's like I don't even know how to row, I'm just floating around. And so what was the mental, like what was the thought process when you finally made that decision? What was there's a point, there's a turning point. Like mine, I was just sick and tired of listening to all the wrong people tell me to do all the wrong things, and I was following the wrong people who had never done what I wanted to do. And I knew that inventRight was focused solely on licensing 100%. I wanted to be where they were, and that was
Right.
the process. What was your, like, when you finally decided I'm doing it, what
Well,
was the turning point?
like you said, Dana, you got. I'm saying to myself, he's already done it, so he knows all the hiccups,
Mm-hmm.
and he has this knowledge that was rare. What Stephen knows is rare, because you have a lot of people out there that make a lot of promises, but it's hands off. They're not telling you what's going on behind the scene. They just want you to pay them to do it. Instead, Stephen's program, he teaches you how to do it. He just doesn't say to you, give me whatever, this kind of fee,
Mhm.
and I'll see if I can license your idea. He doesn't do that. It's like it's an education that you take with you forever.
Mhm.
It's an investment in yourself,
Mhm.
not in somebody else's company or vision to help inventors.
Were
But
you, I'm gonna ask you straight out because I know I was, were you fearful about becoming an InventRight member?
no, not at all. I was very encouraged and very, very positive and very like, oh, I'm really going to get somewhere now, because
Mhm.
I felt that I had a lot of confidence in Stephen, and he was always in the beginning. And I haven't been in touch with him lately, but in the beginning, he would always answer my phone call or answer my email or get someone to answer my question. He's hands on, and he was always there for me. He was always very honest too. He would say, and he said this to me from the very beginning. He goes, Maria, the food industry is very difficult. I'm not saying that it's impossible, completely impossible, but it's very improbable.
Mhm.
So, he never, sugarcoated anything and said, oh yeah, you might not, but
Mhm.
he's always been honest. And that's another quality that I liked about inventRight.
I can remember a real quick story because when I was a member, and I got a lot of no's, man, and it was like I wanted to
Oh yeah.
quit so many times. I was like, this is too hard. Rejection is very difficult. And I was talking to my coach, Paul, and just like, I don't like this. This isn't fun. He's like, no, Dana, this isn't the fun part. This isn't the fun
Mhm.
part, but keep
No.
going. And I don't know if Paul called Stephen or whatever. I remember exactly where I was driving down the road and my phone rang and it comes up Stephen Key. And I'm like, what Stephen Key called me for? And he was like, hey, I heard you're having some problems. What's going on?
Exactly.
He just said, Dana, if you have a couple companies that have interest, even a little interest, there will be more. Do not quit. So we're going to go really quickly into becoming an InventRight member. What is it like now that you went through our membership? You had the personal coaching, you had all the other features that InventRight, the educational features InventRight offers. You've successfully went through the process from I got an idea in my head, I signed a contract, seeing your product on the market. What are your thoughts now? Like what was it like? I know what it's like to see your product on the market, but what's it like to see your product on the market? I want to hear your thoughts.
Oh, it's like so validating and so exciting and so rewarding to
Mm-hmm.
see your product on Amazon and Walmart and certain stores. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, wow, I really did it. And it's all thanks to InventRight program.
Yeah.
And
So
it,
that's fantastic. I love it. So the last question, and I know I already told you that this was going to be the last question, so you had time to think about it because we don't want
right.
anybody on the spot. I mean, your story is your story. We can remember our story, we know our experiences, but this one particular question is something that I think people have to give thought to. Is what bit of advice would you give other fellow listeners, other fellow inventors who are listening to this? What advice would you give them?
Well, remember that inventing something new can be long and a challenging journey. But with the dedication and the right approach, it can lead to a valuable innovation.
That's awesome. Well, Maria, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on here and share some of your experience. I really, our goal here with these episodes, these particular inventor spotlights, is to really talk about what it was like prior to finding InventRight and then what it's like now. So I thank you so much for your time. I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon. Keep on inventing, keep on bringing us new product ideas. James is going to put your casserole caddy up on the screen. Maybe you already did it. If not, hey everybody, thanks for joining us. And if you want more information, just go to inventRight.com and book a call. And I'd be happy to talk with you. Sylvia would be happy to talk with you. Andrew would be happy to talk with you. And hopefully we can guide you in getting your product on the market.
Thank you, Dana. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And as you said, keep inventing.
Keep inventing. Okay. See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.